Are you happy with the lecture rooms?
I think the lecture rooms are magnificent, yes.
Yeah, why? Why not?
Well, I'm comparing them to the previous lecture rooms that we had at the St James campus, which were underground, which were a little bit unpleasant. These are much more functional. We have a range in sizes. Some of the lecture rooms seem to be extremely high tech. They seem to be it's a much nicer place to learn than the old lecture theatres were.
Okay. Are there any spaces in the building which you think encourages socialisation, interaction between staff and students?
Between staff and students, yeah, probably. Well, because I work in the library, probably the library, yes. I don't know how much socialisation there is that goes on up in the faculty because we don't go up there much ourselves.
Sure. Is there one particular space in the library where this is most evident?
The information desk is probably the most obvious place where we get interaction with our students.
Sure. Do you find multimedia easier to use compared to previous rooms and office spaces?
I don't have much to do with the multimedia stuff in the teaching spaces. I had spoken to some of the lecturers about it, and some of them I think were a little bit baffled by it at first. I think they've gotten used to it now, but I think some of them found it a little bit daunting at first because some of the equipment they were using was equipment that they hadn't used before, weren't that familiar with.
Are you happy with how the spaces are organised in the building?
The teaching spaces are fine. I don't like the library itself.
Okay.
As a building, I think it was designed by someone who's never been in a library in their life.
Do you have any particular examples of why that's so?
The lighting in the main floor is very poor. The lights are way up on the roof. There are areas there which are dark. There are other areas like where it's almost as if you're sitting under a spotlight. The information desk is in the wrong place. We can't see anything from here. There are a serious shortage of PowerPoints in the right places, which causes our students to have to try and search around the place for PowerPoints for their laptops. I would have thought that with being a brand new building, one of the most important requirements would be somewhere for students to plug their laptops in next to where the table spaces are. There are a number of things about this library that I find a little bit peculiar. We have one printing area right at the other far at the end of the library. We have another one right down the other end of the library. There's only one set of toilets. There's no fire extinguishers. The mezzanine level doesn't have a fire escape, which makes it a death trap if you're in a wheelchair in a fire. That'll do for now.
Sure. Okay. And I guess that's, if you were the architects, those were the things you would be changing.
If I was the architect, I wouldn't have put the information desk here. I would have put it out on the main floor. I would have put PowerPoints in where the seating is. And well, I certainly wouldn't have designed a mezzanine layer floor without a fire escape. And then we have things, for example, in the staff area, where our bench, for our kitchen, the level of the bench is recessed at exactly the same height as the cupboards. So when you go, and the cupboards are this high, so when I walk into the cupboards, I either got to go like this or like this to get at them. Otherwise I bang my head. Any staff member who's over about 5'8" has exactly the same problem.
And is there anything you would not change as an architect?
Not change. I quite like the Turnbull Foundation reading room inside the tower. I think that's rather magnificent. I think that's proved to be very popular with the students. Things I wouldn't change. No, there are lots of things I would change. So no.
Okay.